Good evening and welcome to Pride of Midlife. It's Friday evening and this evening we are talking housing and food shortages. So I hope you've all had a good week and you're getting ready for the weekend. I am so excited. For the first time in over a week, I actually managed to do some housework. I have tidied a bit of my kitchen. Let's be under no illusions here. My kitchen is not tidy, but a small part of it is. And that's been quite a big step. I was very lucky today. Best boss in the world ever. Let us off at 2:30 this afternoon. So by 3 o'clock I was in a hot bath. As you can see, jammies. I've been in my jammies since 3 o'clock this afternoon. I actually managed to eat something again, which is good, although I didn't feel overly well afterwards. So much so that I had to have a nap. And sometimes that's just what you have to do. Hopefully this weekend, things will be getting back to normal. I am back on the radio, just Radio Earn, EARN.org, this tomorrow afternoon between 2 and 4. And then I will hopefully be getting some shopping done on Saturday night or Sunday morning. And then I can start getting things back to normal and getting myself prepped. However, so what have we been looking at today? So in the news, it's quite weird because when I was sitting at work this morning, there was a thing saying Russia says it's exporting grain from Ukraine. Okay. Seems a bit strange that it's, it's not their grain, they're not supposed to be doing that, blah, blah, blah. And seemingly miraculously, whoever it was that put it on some social media thing has removed the details of what is in that ship. But obviously there's some news agencies that are following the ship, checking stuff, checking that it's the same ship that they're talking about. And seemingly grain is being removed from the Ukraine in a ship registered to some Russians, and it's now sitting off the Turkish coast. And the Ukrainian President Zelensky is saying, seize the ship, that's our grain, that's not Russia's grain, they've stolen it. How you prove that though, I think is slightly more difficult. But the scary thing is if that's what's happening, then Russia, it's not only going to be the grain, it just means that anything that Ukraine's got, Russia will lift. So the food shortages are not going to get any better. There was the calls for, please open a humanitarian corridor for food to be able to get sent out to the world. It doesn't look like that's going to be happening anytime soon. So I would say that we could, from today's news anyway, I'm not saying it's going to be like this for the future, but certainly from today's news, I would not be counting on getting any grain out of Russia, Ukraine this year or next year. I would think it's all going to go to Russian companies, Russian-owned things, etc., etc. So yeah, that's one thing. So anything wheat-based is probably going to go up in price quite heftily. So again, prep your flour, prep your pasta, prep your cake mixes, prep anything that you've got that needs flour. So that is that one. The other thing that I read, which I find quite weird, is there's a report in The Guardian today saying that house prices are not going to crash in the UK. So I had a read of the article and they're like, yes, they're coming down. They are coming down. Yes, of course house prices are coming down, but they're not going to crash. So basically it's semantics. It's how you describe it, because the way I see it personally, anyone who's got a mortgage that's not on a fixed rate, the mortgage rate is going up. And it will keep going up every time the Bank of England puts up the interest rates. And inflation doesn't look to be coming down anytime soon, so pretty much a given that the interest rates are going to still be a bit of a problem. Now, for normal everyday people, that's bad enough. Where I think there could be a worrying trend is that over the last few years, there's been a lot of YouTube videos about it, but it's been in different media outlets. about people who have bought a house, and once they've got that house, they've remortgaged it to buy another one, and then they've remortgaged that to buy another one. And there's some people have bought hundreds of houses like that. Some landlords have got 10, 20, some have bought 100. Do you know, you see the thing about the landlords that own almost the whole street. Some of the landlords have been buying up almost whole developments off plan. What happens when the interest rates go up for them? And best will in the world, they can say that, yeah, they'll put up the rent. People are struggling already for the rents, and trust me, they don't want to be with a private landlord. So if those rents are going up, there's going to be a lot more people struggling to pay the rent, which means there then will in turn become a lot more people homeless. But also, if they don't have people to pay that rent, what are the landlords going to do with those houses? Could that be that they might try to get rid of some of them, which means we will have a glut of houses in the market? Because, of course, the majority of the housing bubble in the UK, the average house price, was run by the prices in London being bought by the oligarchs from Russia. You know, I mean, London was alleged to be, you know, one of the biggest money laundering places in the world. You know, and properties weren't bought for people to live in, they were bought for investment. And because all this money kept coming into London, the prices just kept going up. Now, obviously, since COVID, the prices have come up in rural areas as people could work from home. What was it called in London? No, in Edinburgh. The Willies in Edinburgh. Work in London, live in Edinburgh, because they could work from home. So there was a whole lot of places, rural places with decent broadband, that the prices went up. If these interest rates keep going up, I think there could be quite a big problem with housing. I think a lot of people are going to struggle for their mortgages, and I think some landlords are going to struggle because they've overstretched themselves if the interest rate goes up more than, like, say, 1%. So that could be something, because I know that there's already people I know where the landlords are changing. And I mean, the poor person is in their house that they're renting, you know, it's not a cheap rent, by the way. And all of a sudden they've had this thing going, oh yeah, the landlord's changed now, we're no longer in charge of it, we'll come and do your inspection next week. No clue who the new landlord is. No clue if it's going to have anything to do with the rent, if they're going to put the rent up, if it's going to change the conditions, etc. I think that's going to happen for a lot of people. So that is definitely something to be aware of. Especially if you're in rented accommodation, try and back yourself up. Get yourself something backed up if you can. Because I think there is going to be no housing crash in the UK. It might not crash, but it's definitely going to change. So yeah, that's my news thing. I'm being quite circumspect this evening because it's Friday night. Let's get ready. Tomorrow or Saturday I intend shopping, so there will be more prepping stuff happening. I need to make these plums into jam before they wrinkle into prunes. And I need to get some more stuff in the dehydrator. So I'm hoping that at the weekend we will get back to normal prepping, filling the jars, getting the stashes in, getting myself sorted, because, again, not thinking this is finishing anytime soon. So have a good night, and I will see you later. Goodbye.